At school, I learned how to multiply numbers. At university, how to multiply forces. But I never learned how to multiply wealth. Hi guys, in today's video I would like to share my minimalistic yet effective approach and tips for personal finance. I built it over time, it's actually a very living thing and it's something that works for me at the moment. I also would like to mention that it's not personalized financial advice, it's rather a reminder that we are all responsible for our own finances. And of course I hope you find some inspiration and ideas in this video. Okay guys, I just realized that I start almost all of my videos with suggestion to start with your why. And I'm hesitant to do it again, but I really think that it's a crucial step in almost every journey. And it's very important because it's like a compass which guides you in moments when you need to make decisions. And whenever I have a decision to make, financial as well, I just check in with my big goals, big values, and it's easier to make this decision and it's easier to follow my dreams and my fundamental principles of life. Okay guys, let's go to real number one. And guess what it is? It's declutter. Yes, with finances as well. Because if we want to be in control of finances, we need to know what we actually need to take care of. And the actionable steps here would be first to make a list of what sort of accounts and cards, would it be debit or credit cards, mortgages and other liabilities do you have. And I did that for myself as well. The second step was I listed all my current and previous employers and tried to understand what are my pension arrangements and where my pension was stored and how it's managed and where it is invested. And the third step is to understand how much money do I need every month for my basic needs. These are three fundamental steps which will help you to understand what you currently have and what you actually need. Principle number two is to pay yourself first. And it's a very well-known principle, but I started to truly understand it very recently. I understood that I am really responsible for my current self and my future self, including my physical health and also financial health in the future as well. And that means that every time I receive a salary to my account, I have to set aside some money to support my future financial wealth. And even if it's just like £1 per month or 2 or 3, it's also good because the key here is to build a good habit and the numbers will come afterwards because as we grow, our income also grows. Previously, I did a mistake thinking that I will set aside some money after all of my expenses and actually before the next salary, like putting aside some leftovers. But it never actually happened because sometimes I simply didn't have them. Secondly, I was lazy sometimes, and thirdly, I just could forget about doing this. And it never happened. So what I do now is as soon as I receive money to my account, I send a portion of this money to my savings. And I started with just little amounts like £5 or something like that. And over time, I learned how to spend a bit less during the month and set aside a little bit more in the beginning. So an actionable step here would be to open a savings account and set up an automated payment to that account from your income. Principle number three is to automate as many payments as possible. I try to automate as many payments as possible. With this, I try to clear my mental clutter so I don't have to think when, how, and how much do I need to pay. I don't want to forget about my financial obligations and I just want to be in check with them. So I automate it as much as possible. I set reminders for something that I can't automate, but I still want to be in check, and it helps me to clear my mind and not to think about this all the time. Number four is to educate yourself. Personal finance, I think, is the area where everyone can learn something new. Knowing fundamentals, some principles, tips and tricks from other people and also from professionals is a crucial part of building your financial system. And it has to be different for every person because everyone has different circumstances. And by having a minimalistic approach, I don't mean to learn less, but I think about more learning intentionally and actually trying to apply some principles and tricks as soon as I learn them. Something that works really well for me is setting aside one day when my all free time is dedicated to learning and managing my finances. So for me, it's a Wednesday when I can sit down and have a class or a course, or I manage my investments, or I get in check with all my payments and everything else. So I know that Wednesday is the time when I do all this, so I don't think about it in the other days of the week. By the way, if you are watching this, comment down below. I keep learning. to remind ourselves that it's a very important step in our development. And number 5 is to diversify your streams of income. Earlier, I thought that having one proper good job is the best thing I could ever possibly have. And I couldn't really understand why some of my friends were searching for the second job or the third job and so on. Because I thought that I could put all of my effort to learn and find the proper one. But now I really understand the importance of having multiple streams of income. And something that I learn and practice myself is to build one additional stream at a time. Because whenever we are working on really many areas, of course, we are well-rounded, but we grow slower. Imagine we have 5 areas to work on, and if we could do 10 steps in total, it would mean 2 steps per direction. However, if we choose to focus on one aspect, we could do 10 steps in that one direction and reach our goal faster and move to the next one. Of course, in real life, it's not one or another, because there are things that we can't just stop doing. But we can make a conscious decision to focus more in one area, for example, creating one stream of income. And as soon as we reach decent results, we can switch to another and just support the first one. So we switch our focus to something else. Currently, I'm in the beginning of this journey, so I'm supported with some basics like my job income, my freelance work, and some investments. And I keep thinking about the next steps that I can start working on and focus my attention. And it didn't happen overnight, because I deliberately worked on these streams of income. For example, doing my formal education, going to university and getting my degrees, and learning from internet and reading a lot of books. And finally, the extra but so important point is I realized I have to do something that I truly enjoy. Otherwise, it would be so easy for me to stop working on and lose the interest. The journey to financial self-support can last for years to come. And I better do something that brings me joy along the way. Because if I spend most of my day doing something that I don't like, that doesn't motivate me, that I don't enjoy, it's not the life I would like to have. And in life, of course, there are situations when we can't just stop doing work that we don't really like. And when I had that situation, I had to constantly remind myself, so what's my plan and why I'm doing this? And actually, I tried to find something that I would enjoy about still doing this thing. So for me, when I worked in a coffee shop where I couldn't see myself in the long term, I still tried to find something that I enjoyed. For example, my bicycle ride in the morning, my really very tasty breakfast of fresh croissant and coffee, my colleagues that were really awesome, reading a book during the break, and also making a flat white coffee where I could try different drawings on the coffee, which I really enjoyed. These were small things that made a huge difference. If you would like to find some time to get your finance in order, watch this video where I explain how to find time in a busy week. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.